Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your project here. So I'm going to go ahead and load the picture frame of that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on picture frame and load up that picture. And we'll put that back here just so I can get the proportions right. Alright, let's see. That's pretty close. It's pretty close. And looks like the surface part of this is a bit short. So I'm just going to 1D scale it from up here on down, like so. So we have some room for our snakes. And alright, so I think in your email you talked about pulling back to a cone, or a cone, and actually that was a good idea. Let's go ahead and go over here, F4, and make a cone coming down this way. That's a bit small. I'm not going to use this anyway, but what I did is I hit explode and got rid of this top surface right here. And if you do, now let's see, let's put this on gray so we can turn it off. We'll hide the purple. And let's see what we have. What are those? Oh, just profiles. I'm just going to get those out of the way. And let's turn this off. Okay, we have a curve here. I'm going to put that on red. And let's bring back the gray. So I'm going to move it down. There we go. And I'm going to split with a point this right here. Okay, so that's the length that we want the snakes to be. And I'm going to go ahead and click it and go to a helix to do what you were talking about. And we want to immediately go to a round curve. And so you select the curve, and there's that. And number of turns, actually this works out to be 2.5. Looked like to me anyway. So there's that, and at that point we should be able to go to surface pullback, which is here. Select the curve, that one, enter, and the surface, and get rid of that one. And so that actually works. So you might say, well, I'm done. The way that I did it was, let's see if we can pick the curve. Alright, so what I did is I did spiral. Spiral does the same thing essentially, and you want to immediately go to a round curve. Select the curve, and now we have to keep in mind the fact that there's going to be some thickness to the snake, so we'll go there for that one, and then we get to come over here, and then I'm just coming over here to see how big the snake would be out that way. And there we go. And then I would simply rotate this around so the snake's head is coming. So I'm looking right there. Let's see how we did. Yeah, that's probably pretty close. And you know, if some of this needs to be changed a bit, then that's possible too. In other words, if we want this to taper more, what I would do is pull this up a bit, like so, because you can see now this is coming more close to that. But then as it comes down, let's go ahead and go to rebuild. This has, oh no, it has a good number of points, 33. So I would turn on the control points, and we could always, let's lock this one. There we go. We could always pull these down. And have that come down a little more straight. The other thing we could do is, if you want this to come down really quick, we could taper this. So we could go transform, taper, from here down and over, and we want flat equals yes and infinite equals yes, and no snapping. And there you can see, I'm looking right in here, now it just comes down quicker and tighter as it comes down. Okay, now the trick with this other one is, if we mirror it from here, then it's actually wrong, because both of these are coming forward here. So really what needs to happen is it needs to be a rotate with copy. So we'll click rotate with copy from F4, and we rotate that 180, and so this snake head is actually going back. Okay, but it still is wrong because we want it to be, see, now they're both kind of doing the same thing. So then we have to turn around, and this one has to be mirrored. So I'm going to click mirror with no, copy equals no, and oops, wrong viewport. Yeah, do it in this viewport. Mirror copy equals no. Or is it in this viewport? Ah, it's this viewport. There we go. So having rotated that 180, you'll notice that this is the pattern that we need. We need one head coming up this way, and the other head is back here on this way, so it looks correct right here. And there's what we get in this viewport. Now, you can always kind of, depending on what you're making with this, you can kind of cheat and change this one, and we can kind of bend this forward. So if we go bend from like here to here, oh, let's see, you know what, I'm going to do that later, so let's do this. The next thing that we would do is probably pipe. So we'll click on pipe, start at the bottom. And actually the cap we can do round. So there's that end. And then we come up here and do a larger end. And no other radiuses, so there we go. And then we'll click on this, and I would probably 1D scale this thing. Now, as a matter of fact, the way that shakes out, there's this, and we keep our thickness here, but we did get thin here, and that may actually be okay. As far as that goes, and we'll put that there, and we'll go right click, there we go. Alright, so there's that snaking up around there, pardon the pun. And now what we can do is bend from here out this way. Symmetric, no, there we go. And so we could actually kind of turn this so it's coming back this way. And we might have to 1D scale this a bit. So it all depends on if you want to do this. There's that head opposite the other one now, and those are on the same level now from this side. So if you end up squishing this, I don't know where this is going on a ring or whatever, but there's how that shakes out. And I guess I would do all that though after finishing the snake, and I'm gonna give you a link to another video on how to make a snake, but the head, and apply the scales. But real quick, like, we'll go solid, extract surface, and here's a little teaser on what let's just put this on orange. So there's the extracted surface. We click on it, and let's see where the seam is on this. This is the one important part that we're going to have. So if we go show edges, oh, all edges. There we go. Alright, there's the seam. It's running right down there, and I'm going to try to hide this in the back as much as I can. So let's go SRF seam. I don't know where that button lives, but SRF seam, adjust close curve seam, and I'm going to drive that to the back in theory. Let's see what that does for us. There's where the seam is now. It gets a little, showing a little bit there. But if I do it over here, then it comes around to the front. So I think we'll try it there. Okay, so that changed the surface seam point, and now we're going to go curve and go to extract or create UV curves. So there's that surface pounded out flat. Okay, and I'm going to rotate this like so. Then we're going to come over to Matrix Art. I'm going to put that in there, and load profile, flat, wherever it is, right there, flat, and this is 0. So there's no surface there, and I'm going to take my resolution up to about 20 and hit update resolution. Picture, load bitmap. I've got some fish scales I found in a Google search. They look like this, so I can include these if you want them. There's the scales, and the first thing I do is go over to effects and go to at least a medium blur amount. You can see where there's some noise in the bitmap, so we'll smooth that out with that. And this is the other thing we can do. Well, we don't need to do anything else to that. Here's the height of the bitmap right here. 0.09, that's not too good. Let's go 0.38. And then size. Which isn't changing for some reason. What's the deal with that? Let's go tile bitmap. Okay, so there's tile. There we go. And there's the size. And this really, to be, I don't know, we have to be really careful not to make something that can't be milled or grown, you know, with the size, but we'll give that a shot. Let's update resolution. That's done already. Effects. Alright, so, oh, and also, we don't want this capped right there. Cap off. Don't need the cap. Okay. Oops, capped off. There we go. And all things considered, I'm going to hit Create Mesh. And we'll close Matrix Art. And let's go over to this layer. And I like to use this plastic shade mode. Okay, so here we need to rotate this back. So there and there. Didn't really need to worry about the box right this moment. And then we want to do Apply Mesh UVN, which there's a button for actually. Utilities. And there it is right there. Apply Mesh UVN. Hey. There it goes. Select the surface. That's this one right here. And there it goes. So you can see why the seam point is kind of important. Trying to hide that. Because the matrix art thing isn't going to come back and match exactly, so we want to you know, hide that as best we can. But there is some now the one thing we can also do is the height of, if we go undo, the height of this surface, if we move it down, like so, then that's going to change the way that it applies it. So we'll go apply mesh UVN and click there. And so now it's not sticking up so high. And then we'd have to deal with the head of the snake, which again I'm going to let the video do that. But there's that. And actually we'll hide this and go right click here and rotate F4 with copy on. Let's hide that. So let's go ahead and just move this up a little bit. So there is there's the snakes with some snakeskin. Oh, you know what you might have to do? You might have to pipe these separate, because rotating this around put that seam right there. So you probably have to take the time to pipe this one, adjust seam, adjust seam. You can take the same texture and put it up here and put it up here though, and you'd be good to go. Alright, there it is.